Hello, I'm Chuck Wilson and I'm the instructor, and I'm going to give you some basic ground rules, and this video applies to all four of my classes this term, so it doesn't matter which class you're in. There will be some specific things. Some classes have projects, some classes don't have projects. That's all determined by the syllabus, so we'll conform to that. First thing I want to talk about is attendance. Attendance is participation. In fact, your participation grade basically is the percentage of time that you're actually there. Okay, so that's important. And it's also important that you keep an eye on your attendance. These are all 4-hour classes. And you can miss 14 hours out of the 40. Or 35%. So keep an eye on that. It's in your portal and you can see it. And I'm going to keep an eye on it too. And I will be bothering you about absence because I don't want you to time out. I want you to be successful. So if I act like a mother hen, it's for your benefit. So I want you to be prepared for that. But it is important that you be in class, after all. Okay. The next thing is homework and quizzes. We're going to talk about homework and quizzes. The homework and quizzes are all set, and they are all open now. Okay. So you have plenty of time to do homework and quizzes. Now, the homework that is assigned for week 1 and week 2 are due week 3 before class starts. So before 9 o'clock that day, whatever day of the week your class is, before 9 o'clock that morning, that's when the homework is due. At that point, it closes. And when it closes, it's not retrievable. Okay? So you have to do the homework on time. Okay? Week 3's homework will be due before 9 o'clock on week 4, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. Now, we all understand, most of you have kids, and they get sick, and you get sick, and family members get sick, and you got to go out of town, or kids go on Easter break or spring break or whatever it is, and you want to go on vacation. And your computer breaks down, or you can't get connected with excuse me, you can't get connected with MindTap, or something like that happens. Something happens with the computer. So don't wait. Don't wait until the homework is due to start working on the homework. You have 2 weeks before any homework is due. And you have more time than that for the homework that's due after week 3 and so forth, because it's all there. You can do any of it anytime you want. Homework and quizzes. They must be done on time. When the time passes, then they're done. Then it closes. And if it closes and you didn't do it, you get a 0. Okay. I am going to be conscientious about making sure that I put those zeros in right away. For 2 reasons. 1, so that we don't have to try and figure out what happened later, and 2, so that you get a little heads up, because that will start to damage your average. And there have been terms in the past where I don't put the zeros in because I think it's going to be discouraging, or I don't want to frighten people. But the fact of the matter is, if I don't put the zeros in, you think you're doing just great. You got a great average, but eventually some of those things are going to be zeros, and your average is going to crash in week 9, and that's going to get ugly, and it's going to be a surprise. Okay, I don't want anybody to fail this course. However, I can't make you pass. You have to pass it. But I will do everything possible to see to it that you get as many warnings as possible. And I'm going to go over all this stuff the first week of class and the second week of class, and then put some reminders. Now, the one thing that is not open right now is the final. The final will be open 9 o'clock in the morning on the day that you're scheduled to take the final in week 10. And it will close at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the day that you're scheduled to take the final in week 10. Now, here's your first question. Do I have to be there? No, you don't have to be there. Now, if you're not there, you'll be absent, but you might be able to afford being absent. Oh, and by the way, as far as your participation grade is concerned, I only use week 1 through 9. However, you could still time out in week 10. Okay, it won't change your grade any, but if you time out, well, it changes your grade immensely because you don't finish. So you don't want that to happen. So make sure that you have plenty of time left within your 14 hours or 35%, however you want to look at it, that you're permitted to be absent. Make sure that you've got some of that left, or you're going to find yourself on the day you take the final being there from 9 a.m. until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's just the way it is. And we'll find things to do. We'll find activities. In some cases, there are projects due, and you can go over your project in class to with the other students, and we could talk about it and that sort of thing. But that's the way that goes. So just to recap quickly, participation means that you're in the seat. Okay. Trying to evaluate how somebody is participating is very subjective and very difficult, and it's open to all sorts of argument, and we're not doing that. Okay. If you're there, that'll count toward your participation grade. If you're not, it'll count against your participation grade. And furthermore, make sure that you don't run out of the time that you're permitted to be out, which is 14 hours, okay, or 35%. Also, homework and quizzes are due when they are due. That's really all we need to say about that. They're due when they're due, okay? And none of them will be due before week 3. So you've got 2 weeks to clean up things. If you've got trouble getting on Blackboard, if you've got trouble getting the course to open for you, if your computer crashes, any of that stuff, you got to go out of town for a funeral, any of those things. You got time to deal with it. And I would strongly recommend that you get ahead on the quizzes, because stuff will happen. It's inevitable that things will happen that may indeed keep you from getting your homework done. I can't change the dates that they're due. I can't extend the times. Okay, it creates chaos. Along about week 9, I've got 25 students turning in 15 assignments each, and it's not going to get done. Not only that, but if you don't see the grades that you're getting all along, you don't know where you stand. And you need to know where you stand. Like I said, I don't want anybody to fail, but I really, really don't want anybody to be surprised if they fail. If you fail this course, I'm going to make it a point to see to it that you expect to fail. And let's not have any of that. Okay, let's do well. Okay, so this will open sometime after midnight on February 18th, I believe, which is really the 19th. And I'll go over all this in class as well, but I want to make sure I had a video posted in the announcements, and I'll encourage you all to look at it. All right, thank you very much. See you in class.